looks like we're underway. That's a ponder.
Very interesting that it appears Randolph was able to win game 2. Typically, the post-board games for Storm get harder almost no matter what the matchup is.
Yeah, a little surprised by that, right? Especially when he's boarding and Spell Pierce's end of Vendilion Click.
Well, Jimmy, again, his sideboard's a little bit on the lighter side for this matchup. Yes, the Spell Pierces, the Vendilion Clicks are upgrades, but most of what's good about this matchup for him is what's going on in his main deck.
You guys can't see it at home, but Randolph Gille, his deck list here with the creatures is a giant. There's a giant LOL in the creatures section. This has become a running joke with Storm players here. I think they're too good for creatures. Mystery card with the ponder. It's a copy of Misty Rainforest.
Force of Will and Daze amongst Jimmy cards. That's a pretty good starting point.
Yeah, it's good, clean living there.
Needs some pressure, though. Can't sit on your hands all day. You got to get something going.
That's an island. Beautiful looking one at that. Here's a lotus petal. Are we moving in, maybe? Carpet of flowers, okay.
Okay. This is really good against Daze.
Yes. Daze is basically not a card now.
All soft counters.
Yeah.
And Jimmy willing to Force of Will this. It's very aggressive.
Carpet of flowers it is a nightmare. Yep, there you go. If you're Randolph, that has to feel like a win, I think.
Absolutely.
Even though you had to use a lotus petal to do it, still feels like a win.
Although that might be the motivation for Jimmy to aggressively mulligan the carpet flowers. It might be as a mana fixer as much as anything else for Randolph's hand.
Tropical Island draw. Gonna put that into play. Grafdigger's Cage. Pass the turn back. Gille will draw. A swamp. Preordain.
And Jimmy now just left with lands in hand and a stifle.
Yeah, not a great grip at all. Of course, Randolph doesn't know that. Deciding how he does want to scry here. Looks like one on top, one on bottom. So, card coming. And pass the turn back. Deathrite Shaman the draw. There's a Scalding Tarn.
Deathrite not the ideal threat, but it's at least something.
It's better than nothing at this point. Gille will draw. Third turn for him. It doesn't take much to get the party started. Though again, he doesn't know that he's against just a stifle right now. So easy for us to say, just go for it.
If he can even go for it.
Yeah.
But I think in the absence of a discard spell, or at least he could Taxing Probe to see what's going on, if he can spend his turns just developing his hand, getting some mana into play, I think he'd prefer to do that.
Tropical Island. Just passing the turn, potentially? Yep. Cruz is going to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn here. Going to get a land out of his deck. Thin it out. See if we can draw a spell. There's a trop.
But I don't think that Jimmy can really hold off for very much longer with what he's got going on. Eventually, Randolph will be able to figure out the ruse.
Spell Pierce the draw.
At this point, I think Jimmy's better served drawing threat cards and hoping the stifle can hold off rather than more of the soft permission. Because I just, at the end of the day, don't think it's going to add up to much.
I don't think so either. There's a brainstorm. That resolves. So 3 cards. 2, of course, going to have to go back. Things are really interesting, too, because both players have access to each other's deck lists. So if you're Randolph, you know all the cards that Jimmy has access to. The spell pierces after sideboard. They've been Gille and click. The main deck stifles, which is something we haven't seen in such a long time.
Though I think Randolph can kind of safely assume that there's not a lot going on in Jimmy's hand because nothing's been going on for several turns.
He's just reactive. Taking a long look at that hand before putting those cards back. And it looks like he's come to a decision. Yep. Brainstorm done resolving. There's a land, not a fetch land, though. This is a duress.
Let's see what's up.
I believe the jig is up. Spell Pierce, Stifle, Misty Rainforest.
The answer is not a lot.
Yeah. If you're Randolph, you gotta be thrilled. Coast is relatively clear.
Yeah. Jimmy tried to make this fight about mana by forcibly the Carpet of Flowers, but Randolph's been able to make some land drops here, and now Jimmy with very little in the way of defense.
And plus, he hasn't been able to cobble together any pressure.
Yeah, Randolph's still at 20.
He's taking Spell Pierce. Is it go time? Yep.
Yep.
Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Up to 4. Cabal Ritual.
7.
He does have Threshold. So Jimmy taking a look, just wants to make sure he knows how it works.
Yep. I mean, he could suppose Death Bright in response
Yeah?
and cut him off the threshold.
Perhaps he should have.
Well,
Too late now. There's an ad nauseum. 2 black floating.
so, yep, knows Jimmy has nothing to respond with.
It's a Lion's Eye Diamond. Cabal Therapy, he'll take 1. Ponder. Preordain. Ponder. Duress.
This is not great finding these one mana spells that aren't adding a lot right now.
Scalding Tarn. Tendrils. To the face. Infernal Tutor.
Keep in mind, Death Right's 2 points of damage at a moment's notice.
Uh-huh. Carpet. Does have to be wary of that Death Right. Also can't go through Passing Flames because of the cage.
Exactly. So he needs the therapy to be able to get the Cycle out of the hand if he's going to kill with Tendrils.
Mm-hmm. Brainstorm, another 1. Probe, 1 more. This is way more interesting than maybe I think he thought it was going to be.
Yep. He just needs Dark Rituals and Cabal Rituals. That's what he needs.
Mana.
Lotus Petals, that kind of stuff.
I wonder if he's going to keep this here. Forget, he's got 2 black mana floating. We can't forget about that.
Yeah.
He's doing a little bit of math now. We are in his first main phase, so he can get a little creative with Carpet of Flowers if he needs to. It looks like Ad Nauseam is done. So we've got a life total update here. There's a carpet.
Although carpet is a trigger, correct? This is something that Jimmy could elect to stifle, and it looks like he's not going to. And now I think this is elementary.
There's duress. I will take your stifle, thank you much.
I think it's possible Jimmy needed to stifle the carpet.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Because now he has no defense. We're doing a spell count right now, but...
It's quite a bit.
And he still has more stuff he can cast.
Yeah. So maybe a misstep here, not sure.
So... maybe some confusion over when carpet and flowers can resolve.
I would not be surprised if carpet is the card that's causing the problems. Yeah, so it looks like he played carpet. We'll actually get exact confirmation before even attempting to speculate.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on right
Yeah,
now.
because with carpet, the thing that you can do is you can go to your second main phase to use it. Because once he's already started, it triggers at the beginning of your main phase.
Right.
So what will happen is he can play the carpet with the trop in his first main phase, cast the duress, and then go to a second main phase, and the carpet will trigger.
Yeah.
It only triggers once per turn. But it says during your main phase, and in Magic, you get 2 of those. Carpet is a little complicated.
The term during your main phase is a little bit vague.
Yep. So they're able to back it up a little bit. You see the head judge there, making sure everything is okay. So he wants to make sure he knows exactly where he's at in the turn as far as spells are being cast.
But it seems fairly straight up to me. If Randolph's able to just cast his spells, he's got the win. I mean,
That's what it looks like to me,
the storm
too.
counts going to be way over 9.
Yeah, it looks like we had a game rules violation, so we're backing up a little bit here. The head judge taking a moment to step in and intervene, make sure everything is okay. So when we do have an update for you guys on exactly what's going on, we will let you know. Looks like we're backing up to when the duress was cast. Spoiler alert, Magic can be a little complicated sometimes.
Well, this happens a lot in Legacy because of the templates on the cards.
Yeah.
I mean, the phrase during your main phase would never appear on a Magic card in modern times.
Yep.
Because what does that even mean? Is that even a trigger, or is it just a thing that I get to declare that I'm using at some point?
Now! I'm doing it now!
It's the reason that, templating matters so much.
Yep.
And how much lack of clarity can occur when cards are templated in different ways. I remember many, many years ago, my friends and I were playing the Decipher Star Trek and Star Wars games. We were trying to play them at least. And the cards were so poorly templated that we kind of had to quit because we could not figure out how cards functioned in the game.
Sure.
And Magic's templating, I mean, if you go back to Alpha and Beta, it's nonsense. But even if you go further down the line to Saga, which is sort of modern times, you still see these weird templates.
So now we're moving again. So List of the Carpet Flowers is in play, and Gataxian Probe has been cast in some fashion here. I think you just got to figure out how to get the Stifle out of hand and then cast the Tendrils.
Well, I believe the duress already handled that.
Well, we backed up the game. So the Stifle is in hand because there's no duress in the graveyard.
Okay. Sorry, I thought we backed up to the point where the duress was on the stack.
Nope.
Okay.
Cruz sitting with 2 cards in and the Stifle in a land.
Yep. And Randolph knows this too.
Mm-hmm. So here's a Lotus Petal. So that's going to up the storm count. Going to sacrifice this. He's going to cast Ponder. So something must have went wrong here. Maybe the way that he thought carpet of flowers worked or something, but something must have went incorrect here for him. Because I think if this was the case, he would have kept going.
Yeah.
With the ad nauseum. And now he's shuffling.
Well, he might have thought that he had the kill rolled up and didn't want to flip over past in flames. So that could have been the jam here.
Now it's a mystery card.
This is not a good sign if he's pondering and shuffling.
Yeah, it's not a good sign at all.
This is maybe a man who needs some help.
I mean, he's at 4. There's a Deathrite Shaman in play. And it's as easy as activate it, remove a card, untap, activate it, you're dead. So there's a Lion's Eye Diamond among those cards.
I think Randolph asking for the gallery assemble to back up a little bit.
Yeah. And there's a Pass in Flames. That's the mystery card. Yeah, and that's going to do it. Looks like Jimmy Cruz is going to win this match over Randolph Gille. 2-1. There's definitely some confusion here, so we'll look for a little bit of clarification on exactly what did happen there, because it's a very strange game. You can see that he's confused. Joe Lissette's talking with him right now. There's some confusion everywhere there. So again, if we get some clarification for you guys, we will let you know. But we'll bring it back to the booth right now for you as Jimmy Cruz.